Hello. So this is King Cola, and I am going to be showing you some supplies for starting my new journal. I'm actually going to be showing you out of order, and I'll actually do a flip through of my last catch-all journal. But this is going to be my new catch-all journal, and I will show you. Okay, so I had to change the direction in which you're seeing this because my battery was dying, so I had to plug it up to the plug, which is over there. Anyway, so this is the new catch-all journal. Let me put it down so you can just see the whole thing. This, I got it for $5 at Walmart, even though now I went back to get the plain one. This is dotted. I went back to get the plain one, and they're $8 where I am. So, anyway, it's in red. It's Exceed. That's the brand. Scary. And then, so it has this thing to hold it closed, which I'll probably use, but probably won't. I don't care. The front kind of feels like faux leather. It's really nice and durable. It seems like it would take, you can glue things or tape things on it and it would stay. It's like a satin matte or just plain. It's like faux leather. It's the texture of faux leather. So then I have this here where I just noted what it's going to be. I wrote a tiny little entry. It's not going to be a journal. It's going to be a catch-all journal. So I'm not going to explain what that is. I'm going to do a flip through of the one I did last year. Or this year, really. I started in 2017. And anyway, so there's the brand again. And this is this blah, blah, blah. I bought this a long time ago. And I just finally figured out what to do with it. And this is going to be the first page. I actually have a photo coming in the mail that I'm going to put here. It's kind of like a character sheet that I made with my own face. So that is what's going to be here because this is a catch-all journal. So it's supposed to be about my emotions, about how I'm feeling that day. And last year, the theme was monthly reflections. So I could only do a spread or some spreads for the month after the month was over. So right now, I'm actually, since it's November, I'm actually finishing up the very last month I will be putting in my old journal, which is October, and that is the month I actually started it in. That's why I decided to end it there, even though the book isn't completely full. This journal, I'm going to be doing as I go. So it's just whenever I feel something intensely, that's when I'll be doing the spread instead of that's the theme for this. This theme is going to be not monthly reflections, but just catching all as the moment happens. My only concern is I had to change my approach, how I'm going to be doing this. In the last one, I did a light wash of watercolor once, and the pages got crazy, so I was scared to do it again. But that journal was thicker. This one, it's very thin paper, which is wrapped in plastic in the store, so I couldn't tell. But anyway, I'm going to have to change my approach. So this one, I don't think it's going to take marker very well. Like the other one, like you could do marker and it would be okay. You'd have to be cautious. You couldn't go over and over, but you could do a bit of marker and be fine. It wouldn't bleed through to the other page. This one I feel like is going to be a bleeder. Anyway, I have micron pens that I think will come in handy here. I used them in the other journal, so it's fine. I also used to do the watercolors on separate watercolor paper and glue them in, but I had to change up my glue because I feel like, again, this paper is too thin for this liquid glue. This is the one I usually use for the other book. So I've changed it to a glue stick. And then also, because the pages are so thin, I usually get all my prints from this address. So it's called Free Prints. That's where I usually get it from. It's an app on the phone. Or it's also you can go on the computer and get it. Let me show you. So they come like this, or when you get a lot of them, they come like this. So now I'll probably just be using free prints for my own personal photo, like photos I just want printed, and like family album photos or personal photos and photos for my diary. I don't think I can put these in here because I have to use this glue stick now, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go. We're going to see, because I have a spread planned already, and I've ordered these pictures already. These are some pictures that I've printed with them. So they come out in pretty okay quality. They're just some photo shoots that I did. Oops. It's a vintage photo shoot. This is my sister. This is my other sister. That's her again. And that's her again. My older sister. Oh, that's me. Oh, there she is. There's my other sister again. Her theme. Oh, I don't have to tell you. This is not what this is about. Anyway, that's me again. And that's me. But yeah, so those are the kinds of things that I print. Those, and like just that was an experiment, and then the photo shoot, and then you can actually, I always get them in matte, but you can get them in gloss as well. And then here's some collages I made that I really wanted to print them. I've collaged me and my family into classic art. So this is David meets somebody. I can't remember, but I put me there. A little halo, some moon. And then this one's called The Connoisseur. I renamed it The Bay. And of course, this is the famous Last Supper. I put my father there in his traditional clothes. It really matched everyone, so. And then I put my older sister here. And she's in the forest. Her outfit fit what everyone was going on. This was called A Meeting with Saints, I believe. So, there she is. This was one of the first ones I did, so it was a little rough right here. But that's her halo. I wanted the halo to be a different shape. I gave Metchin a halo. Oops, excuse me. I gave my sister a halo, and then this one's about the Madonna. Actually, some of this land around here is part of this. I was really proud of the background of this. And then this is actually just a print of some paintings by this artist. Yes. And so, these are his paintings. I thought they were really, really pretty. And I wanted to put them, like, as their own little pages in my catch-alls when the mood was right. So I printed them. So anyway, as you can see, the quality is okay. They always tell you if it's going to be super low quality in case the picture is very small, but you can change the size. However, when you change the size, it costs a little more, like 60 cents or so. Anyway, so that's where I get most of them, but I usually always get 4x6, and that's the free one. The shipping can go up to $9.99, but I've never actually spent more than $5.99, and that's because I usually want to ship it faster. Okay, so then I went to Staples. I'm just showing you, I guess this is a supply video. I'm showing you some things I got at Staples. Now for the Staples thing, this was a little more complicated, but I've done it before for my old catch-all journal, actually. I downloaded, okay, excuse me. So I downloaded Microsoft Word. So what I did on Microsoft Word was basically I started a document, just a plain blank document, and then you insert your photos. Just insert them, and then you size them, you move them around or whatever onto the page. And keep in mind the dimensions of your notebook. So some of these are from my diary, which is an A6 journal. It's this right here. So A6 journal is actually a lot smaller than your standard journal. So this one is actually pretty large. I would say this is a little squarer than 8 by 11. Maybe it's 8 by 8. Hold on. Let's get this. This is printed on 8 by 11 paper. So let's use the first page and compare. So it's not 8 by 11, right? But it seems like it is. The pages seem to be an inch shorter. You can't see this side, sorry, but it's about an inch shorter, so maybe it's about 7 by, what was that, an inch and a half? 7 by 7? I mean, this is 11, excuse me. So 7 by 9, 7 by 10. 8, 11, 7 by 9, 7 by 9, 7 by 10. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. But an A6 is usually about 4 by 6. That's my diary, so it's full of diaried things. I actually have prints coming that need to be on this page. So you see, sometimes because the free prints take a little longer, I think it's 7 to 10 or 7 to 13 business days or something like that. Sometimes they take a bit longer to show up. So I'll just preempt where I want to put them and then I won't wait for the print. I'll just know that there's supposed to be a print here and here, and then there's supposed to be a print here, and I'm just waiting on them. And then this is just, so you know, so this is the diary page. These are Molong stickers. I got them on Amazon. And I got another Molong thing, actually, from an Etsy store. This Etsy store. And I got these Molong stickers. They're so adorable. There's one on my computer. I ripped its butt, but it has the Wi-Fi password on it because I always forget. So I can't show you that. But anyway, so this is Molong sticker. You just peel them off, and then I'm actually going to use it as the writing thing when the page is full. And this is also an example of something I printed from free prints. And then I just cut it out. It's actually a fig plant. It's a like scientific illustration by an illustrator. So people are so asleep on illustrators. Like, being an artist is beautiful, but being an illustrator is also so important. And there's no shame in being an illustrator rather than an artist. There's absolutely no shame. It's not a lesser than profession. It's not a greater than profession. It's just another profession, and a very, very useful, important one at that. So this is a scientific illustration of a fig. Anyway, so this is A6, and so some of these things that I'm going to show you are actually meant for here. So like I was saying, you want to pay attention. You want to try to remember the dynamics when you're making the size here, because in here you can it actually will tell you how big it is, if you can see that. Get a little closer. So it'll show you how big it is. So you want to keep in mind the dimensions of your, it doesn't matter what sizes, I've printed them all already, but you want to keep in mind the dimensions of your journal when you're sizing them. So some of these are sideways so that they would fit on the page, because I didn't want to have too much blank space when they were printed out. I didn't want to waste a page like that, because, you know, you pay per page at Staples. So I tried to fit as much on the page as possible. There's actually a page where I feel like I could have fit more here. I could have put something in this corner, but like more flowers or some other little tiny thing, but maybe a food. But anyway, so these are all the things. I made pages like that. These illustrations, actually, I downloaded from these various places. I'll just have them on the screen here. And these people, they left free illustrations for personal use. And since I don't sell or anything, these journals, I'm just showing you guys. I qualified that like there. You know, they have little disclaimers. And, yeah, so there are a lot of vintage stuff, which I think they did so well, like especially those teacups. I actually don't know what I want to do. Do I want to do a spread in my book and show you guys, or do I want to do a spread in the journal? I think I'm actually going to do both, and then I will obviously speed it up and just show you guys both of them. And keep in mind, I'm a newbie at spreads and stuff. The whole purpose of me starting this catch-all journal was to get better at visual design and things like that, because I think it's important for my career as a writer to, and you know, running a company, especially that company, we have a literary magazine, and to be able to oversee those kinds of things, you need to be able to think in design. My sister actually went to school for architecture, so she actually naturally thinks in design, and then was also trained to think about design, form, function, science, math, and all those things come together. Anyway, I, however, only did business, and then I did journalism. So there's that. I don't really have much design when it comes to it, and then I don't know. So anyway, that's the point of this. So, but I noticed a long time ago, you guys would have seen, this is more like a story time. Maybe I should be doing things. Let me figure out what I want to do while I'm telling you all this story, huh? So when I used to do my journals, let's start with my diary, and we'll do this one in a minute. So what we want to do here is, usually I take them out of the spiral. It's hard to write around the spiral, so I'll take the layout out. Oops. I actually want this page. So we want those 2 pages. Sometimes I'll have these 2 pages like this. This will be the spread, and then this will be the page I write on. I just started doing that. Usually I'll cut it up so it's kind of smaller, but I think what I'll do is I'll just make a page and then have that page be like a centerpiece. Since this page actually only had, oops, excuse me, I need this. Since this page only had writing and stickers on it, it's pretty flat. Usually if I have like a song of the day, it gets a little tricky on the other side. I'll flip through of my diary, but my diary is kind of boring. It's not boring to me. It kind of just, it's like quick little illustrations, Fangirl Friday. And then just most of it is like these little, I drew that. And then there's little spilled Cheetos, and then my songs of the month. I drew that. Basically, I do a lot more drawing in here. There's Artemis. That's how I was feeling. And then stickers and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to do that with you right now. So, we're just going to take that. But yeah, like I was saying, in regards to my diarying. Diarying? In regards to having a diary. Or keeping a diary. Excuse me, my voice might be going all over the place. I use this as my background because I don't have a, like, one of those hard table things. My sister does, but I'm not going to take hers. It's rude. I have kept a diary since middle school. And then for a long time, I didn't keep a diary. I did everything on the internet, like via blogs or everything. All my feelings and happenings of the day were turned into fiction short stories for myself and poems that were also for myself. So there was like whole notebooks full of those kinds of things, but I wasn't keeping a diary anymore. And when I was reading it in this video here, I realized how much I missed keeping a diary and how important it was for me to be seeing that after all these years. And so I decided that I was going to keep a diary again. And so that's what's going to happen here. That's what's happened. I kept a diary for I started up maybe 3 years ago. 4 years ago, I took my diary off digital. So I no longer had my diary online about 4 years ago. Then I started regularly writing again in a diary about 2016, so it hasn't been long. But then I remembered how 3D my diary used to be. I used to have little notes and like little things, and I would paste in all my Quizilla quizzes or Girls Life magazine quiz results. I would paste them in there. I paste in pictures that I cut out of like off the computer. I would print them and I would paste those in there. There was a lot of interactive visual things happening, and I decided to up the amp. And so I was going to do that here. I haven't done quiz resulting and all that stuff in a while, but so I changed it to like just random layouts of things that, I did or like or something. And I think I want to get more into the visuals always mean something, how I was feeling or something like that. And then sometimes it's just overall. So for this spread, what do we want to... I didn't really do anything today. So... honestly, I'm going to use some pictures that I don't care are missing. These other ones, I want them to go into, I printed some specifically for this A4 journal. And I'm actually going to use them. So, we have this page here. Put them all back. And so now you can see, this is one of the pages I also probably could have put some more in, given the margins of the page in general. This is the top. You can't see that. The margins of the page in general. So this, I couldn't go any higher than that. And then so it'll probably be about the same on the bottom, but I could have fit something here. You want to keep that in mind when you're printing things, the margins. So what we're going to do is I actually made this too small. I made it too small. I wanted it to fit the whole page. And I think the original size that I was going to do would have been better. Look at that. Look how small it is. So what we're going to do now is it was supposed to be the whole page. But, so now we're just going to have to improvise. And now you will hear music. So... thanks for listening to my ramble. And I gave some information too. Oh, don't be like that. I'm actually looking for something to listen to while I do this. So, bye.